1. Sarah checks up on Todd. Sarah pays a visit to Todd at the flat when she knows that Theo is out. Although Todd is now anxious about having any contact with his friends, he reluctantly lets Sarah inside. Sarah questions Todd on why he isn't replying to messages from George, who's still concerned about him. Suddenly, they hear Theo returning. Will he catch them together? 2. Theo's ex-wife returns. Sarah takes advice from Gary and arranges a meeting at the bistro with Theo's ex-wife Danielle. She cautiously asks whether Theo was ever violent towards her. Later, Todd and Theo walk into the restaurant and are shocked to see Sarah and Danielle together. As Theo subsequently speeds up his plans, telling Todd that they're moving to Belfast on Monday, it seems that this story is about to come to a head. 3. Maggie makes a confession. Ben suffers a dizzy spell at home amid rising tensions between him and Maggie. When Maggie suggests calling an ambulance, Ben makes a desperate demand. She should put him out of his misery by sharing the truth about his father. Maggie finally relents and confirms that Alan wasn't his biological father, although she keeps the other man's identity to herself. 4. Maggie's problems get worse. Steve pays a visit to the pub and mentions that he has left Ollie and Amy at Number 1, where they have the house to themselves. Maggie panics over the possibility of them getting too close, and her strong reaction surprises everyone. Will she finally tell everyone that Ben's biological father is Jim MacDonald? 5. Ben struggles to move forward. Ben broods over the life-changing revelations that he's heard, staring at a photo showing himself as a child with Alan. Eva tries to reassure Ben, pointing out that Alan loved him like his own son. Maggie interrupts the heart-to-heart, and Ben bitterly warns that he wants nothing more to do with her. 6. Debbie's fate is revealed. There's good news for the Websters when Debbie wins her appeal and is released from prison. However, joy turns to horror when the much-loved Weatherfield resident goes missing. As everyone worries, it's Carl who is first to find Debbie as he catches up with her on the swings at the precinct. Showing a softer side, Carl expresses genuine relief that his mum is back home. 7. Carl makes a new demand. Carl quickly returns to his old tricks by asking Debbie to give him £10,000. The schemer claims that he needs the money to pay Fiona, the dodgy woman he was in cahoots with late last year. Debbie agrees to part with the cash as long as Carl works off the debt, but when Ronnie intervenes and decides to call Fiona himself, what will he find out? 8. Fears for Debbie grow. Tracy and Mary visit the hotel to discuss wedding flowers with a bride and her mum. Debbie plays hostess by serving champagne, but soon spoils the mood by making some ill-judged comments. As Debbie's guests start to take offence, Ryan watches on and is concerned. 9. Ronnie suggests a surprising truce. After another incident sees Debbie burn her hands on some hot plates at work, her latest scan results show that her health is deteriorating. Ronnie gets annoyed when he spots Carl flirting with Jodie, seemingly with no concern for his struggling mum. Carl complains to Debbie about Ronnie's hostility, but they're interrupted when Ronnie arrives to apologise. Carl is intrigued when Ronnie suggests that it's time to call a truce for Debbie's sake, but is the offer genuine? 10. Sam struggles to trust Will. Will attempts to get Sam back on side by apologising for everything that's happened between them. Sam shakes his hand but struggles to believe that Will can be trusted. Toya senses that Sam's issues aren't over, so she urges him to stop worrying about Megan and Will. Sam clearly isn't ready to let the matter drop and tells Hope that he's been busy reading up about grooming cases. Will interrupts the conversation, which prompts Hope to step in and mock him for having an elderly girlfriend. Can Will keep his cool? 11. Eva falls out with Leanne. Sam accuses Will of trying to intimidate him, but Will feigns innocence and later tells his family that Sam has been bothering him for no good reason. Eva wastes no time before confronting Leanne, Nick and Toya, suggesting that Sam has started making false allegations against Will. This is sure to infuriate Leanne, so is the alliance between the sisters about to crumble. 12. Sam and Will's feud leads to chaos. Sam is unsettled when he sees Megan and Will together at the precinct. He tries to raise the alarm, but Will insists that he hasn't left the pub all morning. With few people believing him, Sam wrestles with anxiety and paranoia. Amid all the accusations and counter-accusations, where does the truth lie? 13. Nick tries to play peacemaker. Nick consults with Ben, suggesting that Will should join Sam for pizza so the boys can be friends. Ben agrees it's a good idea, but Sam isn't so sure. Later, Sam thinks he can see Will and hear his voice, calling him a loser and telling him that nobody cares if he lives or dies. But what's really going on? 14. Summer gets close to the truth about Billy's death. Abby warns Summer that Debbie may not have been the one who was driving on the night of the Corriedale crash. Determined to follow this lead, Summer asks Debbie to confirm whether this is true or false. When suspicion falls on Carl, he warns Summer to stop hassling him and look closer to home if she wants to find Billy's killer. Is Theo's darkest secret about to be exposed? 15. Tim reaches a breakthrough over Tricia. Sally once again encourages Tim to open up over his past with Tricia, but he refuses and avoids the conversation by heading out into the garden. Later in the week, though, Tim takes a different approach as he heads into Freshco to corner Tricia and force her to speak to him. Supportive Sally waits outside, but how will it go? C16. Jody seizes her chance to get close to David. As David has the day off, he tells Jody that he'll be spending his time on the sofa watching movies. Keen to get closer to David, sneaky Jody decides to pull a sickie so she can join him. Later in the week, the pair continue to get up to no good, as David tells Jody that he's secretly swapped their broken wheelie bin with Lisa's brand new one. Jody approves of David's tactics, so has he met his match? 17. Lisa celebrates some big news. Lisa announces to Carla that her divorce from Becky has finally come through. This frees up Lisa to tie the knot with Carla in a few weeks' time. As the couple head out to celebrate, they trust Jody to look after Connie again. 18. Jody turns against Mal. Jody informs Gemma that she has bombarded Mal's business with fake reviews in the hope of destroying his reputation as revenge for the way he's treated Bernie. Later in the week, Roy reveals that Mal has announced plans to move back to Inverness. Gemma suggests that Jody's intervention did the trick and Bernie should be pleased, but have they really seen the last of Mal? 19. George prepares to move on. George welcomes an estate agent to the funeral parlour. He's ready to sell up after a hellish few months, but is this really the end for the business?